On today's episode,
I have a conversation with my guitar.
Bollocks. Right. Oops. What that was. Shut up.
I take a lap around my bedroom.
Take that out of there.
And I pull some horrible faces.
That's horrible. Today I thought I'd take a little bit of a break from doing work on that song, because doing too much of it at once gets my mind all muddled and I end up making mistakes, as you probably saw in the previous video anyway. So what I thought I would do today is actually do a comparison between some of the different guitar sounds that I get at home in this little studio setup that I've got. So we're going to compare the record out section of my Boss Katana with my favourite setting to a couple of free amp sim software that you can get on the internet for free, as well as we'll also compare it to Logic's Amp Designer, which is the same one that's in GarageBand as well, so it'll be the same sort of stuff if you're using GarageBand. And yeah, just going to see what the difference is, which one I prefer, what sort of stuff you can get if you're working at home, and see how it goes. So first of all, let's start off with my Boss Katana with my current favourite amp setting, which is actually using the clean amp with a just a rat distortion pedal in front, and a little bit of reverb, and that's currently my favourite setting, and it sounds something like this. Yeah, and I really like that sound. I think it sounds great. So it's a great all-round rhythm guitar sound. And also, it actually makes a really nice lead sound as well, because it's quite mid-rangey and thick. So yeah, that's my current favourite sound, and we'll say that's the bass tone that we're comparing. So now the next one we're going to look at is the Ignite Emissary by STL Tones, I believe it is. It looks like this. This is like the setting I like on the actual amp. It's called the lead tight, and it sounds something like this. Again, this is a pretty good amp sim if you really want the heavy stuff. Like if I drop into, well, this is actually drop C sharp, but drop D and stuff, you get a nice chug from it. So that's fun. That's a good one. And it comes with, when you download it, it's like I say, it is free, and it comes with an impulse response loader as well, so that you have, because if you didn't have that, this is what this is what they sound like if you don't actually have an impulse response. Which is what an impulse response is it's simulating the speaker that's in a guitar cab, and if you don't have that, this is what it sounds like. Which is just horrible, and that's exactly the same. That's exactly the same as if you like take a standard record out, or something of a cheap amp that doesn't have inbuilt speaker simulation software, from a cheap amp, or even from an expensive amp. Actually, it sounds the same. If I go out of my Marshall Silver Jubilee over there, if I can take the direct out from out of there, it will sound similar to that. So when you're recording, you'd need to, and I may do a test at some point, but you need to actually go through some kind of impulse response software, so that you can have the effect of actually having a guitar amp on the recording. But anyway, that's like, this is the amp itself. Comes with this nice user interface with all the things that you can change, like the gain, your EQ controls, input output, all of that sort of stuff. And on this, actually, you can even, if you flip to the back, you can even change the power tube. So at the moment it's on 6L6s. You can change it to, let's say, EL34s. Which general people, I think it finds it has a bit more bite to it. Or you can change to KT88s, which are quite, well, not very well known, so they're quite rare. But yeah, they're a really nice tube. So yeah, that's the back of the amp, things you can do with that. Just quickly show you the actual, what the impulse response loader looks like. It comes with quite a few different simulations of different microphones on a speaker. I believe the speaker that they use is always a Celestion Vintage 30, and then you've got different microphones like a SM57. You can have it on center of the cone or off axis. Then you've got I don't know what a 44.1U is, or the MD421. I don't really know what those actual mics are, because I don't recognise them. I know a few mics from being at uni and using them, but I don't recognise those two. But anyway, the main basic setup that it comes with, the presetted sound, is using two microphones, which is the SM57 off-axis and the it looks like it's a Sennheiser 441 on the centre, which is kind of a common like metal mixing technique. It's actually called the Fredman technique, but yeah. So, and that gives you this sound. So yeah, sounds good. Now let's change over to having a look at the most recent one I downloaded, because I actually saw on Facebook one of the YouTubers that I follow, called Fluff, has got his own like pack out with a company called Amped. This is the Amped Roots version of Fluff's own. It looks like it's some kind of EVH amp by the looks of it. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It might be the 5153 gold. It might be the 5153 with the EL34s. So I think the EL34s are the gold ones. But anyway, doesn't matter. This is what it sounds like on like one of the presets that's built in. Fingers are still not warmed up yet, but anyway. Now this one's actually a little easier to use, because it comes with the a built-in speaker response, which I'm assuming is based purely off of the speaker that Fluff uses himself. And all you've got for the options for that is you either have it on or off. And again, this is with it on. If you flick the switch, this is with it off. That's horrible. But anyway, so what that would mean is you could turn that off and you could load in your own speaker responses and things from with a different provider. Like, for example, I've got with my Audient ID4, it came with the 2 Notes Torpedo Wall of Sound software, and so what I could do is I can actually turn this off and load in the Wall of Sound software, and then I've got multiple different speaker cabs and mics and positioning and all of that sort of stuff I can play around with. So. So yeah, but even just the basic software itself comes with a good cab sim in there, so you've at least got something, even if this is the only thing you download, and it sounds good. The next one is I've had for quite a while, and this is the Amplitube's free version of their software. I've had this for a couple of years now, but I've never really used it because I don't really get on with the software that they've got. It's It's okay. I mean, it is free, but I just think it's quite old software, and there are better ones out there now that I prefer. This one's again based on some kind of Marshall. I'm not sure which one it is, because you can't really tell. All it gives you is for the name is British Tube Lead 1. So with this one you get a few options. You only get a few options. You get a couple of clean amps. You get and a lead amp and a bass amp. That's just with a free version. So what do we get as a? Yeah, we get the well, it looks like some kind of Fender. I'm not sure. Going by the dials, it looks like some kind of Fender. And what's the other version? Oh, exactly the same, just probably slightly different settings. No idea. But anyway, so that's the oh yeah, and also comes from the spring reverb is a bit harsh. So yeah, let me just set it back to how I normally would set this kind of amp. Yeah. So again, it's not too bad. It's not the worst one here. But I do think the others, probably because they're newer, are better. And then finally, if you've only got access to GarageBand, there's GarageBand's version of amps and software called Amp Designer, which actually gives you quite a few different free amp sims. This one, again, I've picked the one that's based on just try and get the similar sound to all of the others. This one's based on, again, a Marshall. But with this one, I've actually had to use the pedal board designer in front of it, because there's just not enough gain on tap with this amp on its own. So let me just show you first of all. Okay, let me turn that pedal off. Okay, so this is all of the gain on this amp. Just push the Output up a little bit more so you can hear it. Now that's fine for classic rock stuff, but yeah, although classic rock is one of my favourite genres, I tend to like a little bit more oomph from my amp. So in order to get that from this, what I have to do is to set this kind of clean and flat, and then use this, which is their version of a rat pedal in front. And this is, I'm trying to emulate the sound that I'm getting from my Boss Katana, which is again just a clean amp with a rat in front of it. So that's what I've done here, and this one sounds like which is nowhere near close to my Boss Katana, but still, I mean, it's workable if this is all that you've got, but there are some great free amp sims out there, and these first two are pretty good for what they are. So you've got, like I said, let me just go through them again. So this is the Ignite Emissary, which is it's good, heavy, full of gain amp. And then this one is the amped fluff thing, whatever it is. This is the amped roots fluff amp sim. I'm going to say personally, because I have the option to do it, my favourite one is actually my own Boss Katana, just because I've managed to play around with that and set it up how I like it. But yeah, the other ones are good in a pinch if you've got, say, if you've not got your amp ready, or you've not got your amp there. Just say, once this whole quarantine thing is over and we can actually travel around, if you've travelled to somewhere else and all you've taken with you is your laptop and your user interface and your guitar, your laptop and your audio interface and your guitar, then these amp sims will work if you want to lay down some tracks. And I've used them before, and they sound, in a mix, they sound pretty good. Just for me personally, I do prefer my actual own amp, but yeah, that's how it is. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed having a look through these few little amp sims that I found that actually came up on my Facebook feed, so I thought I'd try them. And let me know what you think, which one was your favourite in the comments section below. And yeah, I guess if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.